to officially announce that my intentions to represent the people of Warick Northeast in Constituency 25. This has not been an easy decision, but it has been a decision that I've been mulling over for almost 7 years. In 2018, the OBA was at its lowest point, and morale was low. It felt like there couldn't be any more mistakes that we could have made. At that time, we were simply making do with what we had and trying to rebuild an organization that would be for the betterment of Bermuda. At every turn, I saw from within that organization moments of hope, moments of real change, but there were some people within that organization that couldn't come to that conclusion. This is what is wrong with politics. They are only interested with playing political games, but it doesn't have to be that way. People talk of historical results of past elections and what independents have done in the past, but history is just that, in the past. It is not the greatest indicator of what can happen, and the 21st century is a testament to that. If you are always looking in your rear mirror and trying to look what's coming in front of you, then you will realize that you're probably going to crash. The future is not the past, and things change, people change, and moments change. Elections are always one of the present and the realities of the everyday struggle, and that will always win out. People have known my interest in serving the public my whole entire life. I believe there are very simple problems that require very simple solutions. The crux of the matter is we just need to come together and work together as a community and a country to solve these issues. A lot of these issues don't even need parliament. They just need people to come together and help each other out, bringing simple community-oriented solutions to complex problems that were created by the status quo. This is the movement that I want to be a part of. I am really and truly disinterested in what is happening in government's perpetual war with the opposition. If we need to cut our own hedges, let's cut our own hedges. If we want to pave some of our roads, let's go and pave some of our roads. Let's bring pride back into our country. We have to bring back helping one another to achieve the ultimate goal, to live in a society that is overflowing with love, peace, and harmony, where our kids will grow up in the best atmosphere to achieve unlimited possibilities, so that we could once again be a shining light to the rest of the world. Solidifying why this is paradise and why this is the best place to bring up children. The fires of division were stoked in the 2003 election, and we all know what happened after that. The undermining agendas, the personal vendettas, the racial rhetoric were not used to resolve standing issues and confront our complex history, but they were used to divide each and every one of us. This was to achieve the goal of putting us in tribal camps so that we wouldn't talk to each other, to develop a system that wouldn't allow us to speak to one another because our perceptions and our assumptions were skewed by the people that we were supposed to lead. All of these tactics were planted long ago, and it's time to pick out the weeds and clean up the garden. There are more things that we have in common than what separates and divides us and makes us individually unique. I have the wonderful privilege to be made up of the uniqueness and the tapestry of what makes Bermuda culture great. Running through my veins is the blood of African and Caribbean descendants, Portuguese descendants, Dutch descendants from Sabre Island, and English settlers. I represent the melting pot of Bermuda. We need to come together at this very important time in our country, stand up and let our voices be heard, and say resiliently that enough is enough. This election was born out of the reply throne speech where the opposition leader called for an election that he nor the premier were ready for. The opposition party has shown again that they are not ready to lead this country, nor warrant the confidence of any support within our community. Throwing volunteers into the fire pit without these persons truly understanding the gravity of the job or how to go about achieving your platform promises at this very moment in time is disrespectful to the people of Bermuda and to the volunteers that have put themselves forward to save the OBA. Then you have the premier, someone who I would term as a political genius, someone who has strategized and narrated the OBA into becoming the organization that they are now. Bermuda doesn't need mediocrity. Bermuda needs a promise of a new tomorrow. This country needs bold action. The PLP has not finished their platform, and who knows when or what they will present, but because it was not delivered on day one, that means that they have no future plans for this country. People have left this country in droves and are continuing because of the failed administrations of both the PLP and the OBA. We all know the PLP's dissatisfaction for any governor that lands here. And for our constitutional setup, while there are some valid constitutional issues that hopefully get resolved one day, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't lead with compassion. The premier only wanted to make the governor's last day unenjoyable. Our first Black and female governor was the person that the premier wanted to embarrass. On her final days as governor, she was forced by the premier to call the shortest election in Bermuda history. This is because the government's financial year ends on March 31st, and in order for government to have the money on April the 1st, the new parliament on February 19th will need to meet soon after and pass a budget. A budget that is being built right now by the devoted and hardworking civil servants, and in plain practicality, we are going to have to pass that budget because it is too late in the process to make any meaningful changes. So not only was calling this election a petty stunt to disrespect the governor, it was also disrespectful to you. It was disrespectful to Bermudians who have to sit at their dining room tables and crunch numbers and their household budgets around the government's. As there is always some hidden government fees that are increased to combat the showy relief provided to Bermudians. They never contain any real resolutions to the rising cost of living that exists within our nations or the existential crisis that exists in our classrooms and on our streets. We need to build a country that is based on hope. For the constituents of 25 Warick Northeast, they will have that hope. I want us to be a shining constituency that puts aside the pettiness of politics and builds the community spirit that Bermuda deserves and needs. This isn't revolutionary because this is how I grew up, and I know I'm not the only one who remembers times like these. We grew up in villages and neighborhoods that looked out for one another, that supported each other, no matter the background or demographics were. Before I go into the policies that I will enact at Constituency 25, I first want to thank Douglas Zacuto, who has made a valiant effort in the Warick Northeast community to bring them together and to engage them after all that politics has put on them throughout the years. Constituency 25 has been through a lot of turnovers in the last couple of decades. Constituency 25 has not re-elected the same person since 2007. On both sides, the OBA and the PLP have had new representatives every year. I am here to end that cycle. I ran in 2018, not because I wanted to, but because I thought I had to save face for a party that couldn't see the forest for the trees. The realization that I came to and concluded was that I spent way too much time trying to fix a party and a political system that was fundamentally flawed. It just hasn't worked for this small island nation. I don't have any regrets or bad decisions or think about and time consume about ill-advised decisions that I've made in the past. This has led me on the path to talk to you today, and I am grateful for that. I have learned experiences, I have new knowledge, and I have new friends and family that have evolved my perspective. I come to tell you that the constituents of 25 are ready to embark on a bold journey of being a shining example of what we can achieve in Bermuda. For the people of Warick Northeast, I would like to establish a Constituency 25 community fund. I will pledge half of my MP salary and any salary that I obtain in my service to our community. This will be in monthly installments to support local initiatives and community development. This will help to provide seniors with support workers within their houses so that they don't have to go to rest homes. And we will establish a minibus route within the constituency so that passengers and residents of Constituency 25 can safely attend the pink route that goes along Harbor Road. This will save families hundreds of dollars in costs for fuel, and it will be a reliable service that can expedite the traveling. We will also use in this community fund monies towards trash collection, roadside foliage and paving, and parking bays for Hinton Island residents. We would also, through private-public partnerships, enact postal service and trash collection for all of the islands within the Hamilton Harbor. And we will also have community events that will bring the community together. On the national front is where I have ideas where you can find on constituency25.com. But my ideas need to come together with the will of the people, and the national issues will expand based on the continuous and canvassing efforts within the constituency. The platform ideas that I have on my website, I believe are great topics and conversation starters. My favorite part of canvassing is when we reach the part of the discussion where we brainstorm ways to find solutions to the problems that face us. I truly look forward over the next 3 weeks to hearing more innovative solutions from my constituents. Some of the national issues that I am passionate about is about reducing the size of Parliament, economic growth, city development, universal health care, changes to our education system, and tax reductions. I find it poetic that I'm making this announcement on Catholic School Week. I have attended Catholic schools here in Bermuda at Mount St. Agnes and in university at St. Mary's University in Halifax. The Christian faith has always been at the foundation of how I treat people and how I wish to serve my community. At church this Sunday, there was a great reading that I believe is relevant to what we need to achieve and understand for this election. The second reading came from the 1 Corinthians, chapter 12, verses 12 through 30. It talks about Christ's body, like a human body, consists of many parts, each unique and essential. The scripture talked about if the body was just an eye, how would it hear? And if it was just an ear, how would it see? Meaning, just like the body, Bermuda is made up of many parts, and it only works fully when all the parts come together and work together to make one body, one nation. Unity and diversity must coexist. We must emphasize mutual respect and shared responsibilities to the problems that face us all as a collective. I was blessed and privileged to go to a school that was not just built on faith, but one that was built on community, of chosen family. After achieving my accountancy designation in 2022, I have gone back into the investment industry where I serve as an investment and treasury professional. These experiences give me the foundation to not only grasp the concepts and understand what I am talking about, but it has given me the knowledge and experience to be vital in growing a network to broker change for our country. The path is very clear and simple, Bermuda. Please do not overcomplicate this. Forget about all of the parties and just look at the people that are right in front of you. It is a simple task, in my opinion. Look at the person running in your constituency. Ask yourself, who is the best person to serve you and our community that we live in? Then ask yourself, who has the strongest voice? Who is not afraid to step out of line to represent your interest in Parliament? Now you have the winning formula. Part of my speech, I want to address my former MP colleagues, persons who have resigned both recently and many years ago. Please go and find a mirror and examine your conscience. Bermuda needs you. Bermuda needs true public servants, not volunteers turned politicians that these political parties are desperately trying to find to run. You know exactly what the sentiment is in our country, and you know more now than ever, we need to be in capable and experienced hands. You have a moral duty to stand up. Nomination day is on Friday, and I look forward to seeing many more people put their names forward as strong, independent voices trying to support and serve our people. For anyone still within the OBA, I am asking you to drop your party's banners on nomination day and run as an independent. Give Bermuda a real choice, one that wasn't decided behind closed doors or by external consultants. Given that David Byrd has designed this election to be one of the shortest in history, it might seem that we might not have enough time. But I am here to tell you that the people of this country are ready for change. Now to the people of Constituency 25, I need your help once again. In the coming days and weeks, you'll be getting information from me and my team. I don't have a big party apparatus, and I'm starting from scratch. The OBA and PLP have vast amount of information on voters in their database, which I do not have access to. The parliamentary registrar does not give out phone numbers and emails, so I need you to go to my website at constituency25.com to allow me the opportunity to connect and collaborate with you on our future. These won't be random employees and volunteers that the PLP and the OBA are using to get your vote. These will be your neighbors, fellow constituents, my family, former colleagues, former teachers, friends, and people who know me intimately. So feel free to ask them anything. Please book time with me as I want to reach as many households as I can in this short election period. May God bless you and God bless Bermuda in these coming weeks. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Mathias. Sekou Hendrickson with the Royal Gazette. I want to address the elephant in the room. You have left the OBA in a very public fashion and have leveled a lot of, some might say, harsh criticisms at both the party and the candidates. them and the PLP. These will be the same people who, if you're elected, you will be sitting side by side in Parliament in about a month's time. It's a bit of a two-parter, but one, do you plan to work with these people for the good of Bermuda? And two, how do you hope that will be, or how do you expect that to be successful, given everything that has been said in the past, and just everything laid out there now?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first election, right? Things get said in election campaigns, and the day after, on February 19th, we have to get to action. I think the strength of the independent voice is saying that we just need to be adults about it, right? We go through election campaigns. After the campaign is over, the rain comes and washes everything away, and then we get to action for the people of Bermuda. The people of Bermuda would want me to serve in that respect, to collaborate, to make progress. So any personal opinions that I might have, they are way down on the totem pole when it comes to serving the people of Bermuda and hopefully the constituents of 25.
Are you worried that these might lead to the same, or that this could possibly lead to the same petty squabbles that you say take place in Parliament now that you are trying to break as an independent?
Well, my goal is, and my hope is that we have 36 independents and there won't be any squabbles, right?
Mm-hmm.
There won't be any PLP said this, OBA said that. There will be none of that. It will be me standing in Parliament in the interest of constituents in constituency 25.
But if this doesn't happen, if there are not 32 independent constituents within Parliament, what then?
Continue as you continue, right? If we have to build a coalition government, or we have to build a coalition, you wouldn't build a coalition opposition. But if you have to build a coalition for the betterment of society, then you do that. That's what you get told to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I guess with all of that said, is there anything that you would like to say to your suppose fellow candidates, both within your constituency and outside of it?
I wish them the best. I think in constituency 25, I think they have really good candidates, right, including myself. And I think after the fact on February 19th, I think the amount of support and the benefit that the three of us are going to bring to the table for the betterment of constituency 25, as long as we continue that and we build upon that no matter who wins, I think they have the perfect deal right now.
Thank you, Mr. Mathias.
Good morning, Mr. Mathias. Thank you for your remarks this morning.
Sure.
My first question is, do you think there is a stigma attached to people who switch parties or leave parties?
Well, the stigma is only attached from the parties, right? The parties attack people who they term as traitors. It doesn't come from the ordinary citizen. When I'm knocking on doors and canvassing, people are, supporting me and saying I'm brave for stepping out, right? I'm brave to going out of and get out of the towing the party line. The only people that are criticizing me is the people that want to keep the current system.
Understood. And you made a bold call to candidates in the OBA to drop their party's banner on nomination day and run as an independent candidate. Do you echo that call to the other political parties?
Yeah, I definitely misspoke. If you see my printed text, it was for the PLP and the OBA. But yes, I believe that there are good people within both organizations. And I know there are public servants in there. What people don't get to see in politics is behind the scenes, where we're all friends and we're all family, right? So as much as you see this war happening on the public stage, it isn't like that behind the scenes. And the people on both sides within the PLP and the OBA know who I'm talking to and know who I'm talking about. And I hope that they can see the light and see that what we really need in this election is public service.
Okay. And you've previously spoken about making lifelong connections in C25, where you are to run as an independent and wanting to, quote, defend the area. What specific issues are you prioritizing for the people of Warick Northeast?
Yeah, I made a couple in my speech. I think what's important is that we collaborate on a lot of things. Me and my team, and just going out and canvassing and talking to the constituents. A great idea is to have this minibus service that goes from Cobbs Hill onto Ord Road, up Longford Hill, and coming back on Harbor Road. So anybody within that vicinity can leave their cars at home and they can catch the ferry. Anyone who's in that area on Harbor Road in the morning knows that if you're backed up to Longford Hill, it's going to take you an hour to get into town. And the pink route needs to be supported. And that's what I'm trying to do, is support the pink route so that we can get improvements. We can get extra times. So that's what I'm going to do. I think right now the consideration is for a 7 to 9, well, a 7 to 9 in the morning and a 5 to 7 in the evening. So that, and it's just a continuous run, and you can get off and get on wherever you want. And you don't have to go to the bus if it needs to go to Linda's or wherever you need to go within that community. I think the most important part is that I'm pledging to put my salary in there. And then on top of that, the people that will support and manage the fund will have to be key people within each one of the neighborhoods within constituency 25. And we could get donations for grocery vouchers for families that are in need. We can get support workers. I have a lot of seniors in my constituency. Instead of us building all of these restrooms, why aren't we getting support workers so that people can live in their home and die in their home with dignity? And I think we just need to change the mindset. And that's what I'm proposing. And I know that we're not going to be able to achieve everything on day one. So that's why I'm pledging my salary. That's why I'm hoping we get donations throughout the community so we can do it right now. There's nothing stopping us from doing these initiatives right now.
Okay. It sounds like you know the constituency very well and have been out engaging with voters. How have you been received by voters in that constituency?
I've been received really well. I haven't gone to many contentious neighborhoods, but I've gone to people that have supported me in the past, that have wanted me to run. So I've gone to them to visit them, to hear about, a lot of the stories that have been transpired over the last 7 years. And just getting that reconnection with the community again is something that it's just been a real eye-opening experience. But they've been really open to say, we're just tired of the rhetoric. We're tired of the back and forth and the fighting. We just want solutions. We're begging for solutions. Because if we don't find solutions, I'm going to get on the plane and go to the United Kingdom. And I'm sorry, I just can't let that go on anymore. I can't sit at my desk in my cushy job and sit there and say, just because I have everything that I need in life, and these people are having to fly overseas to find opportunities. What makes that so special for me? Why am I not out there trying to help and trying to find real solutions?
Thank you. Should I go back over here?